So sometimes challenges are that thing that makes our comfort zone so uncomfortable that we have to make a change. And actually, the change makes our life much better, but we have to go through the challenge to get to the better side. But that's sometimes we create reasons that are just excuses, but then the reason becomes the challenge or the block in our way. Oh, the weather's not good enough to go jogging. You can go jogging in the rain. I mean, if may notice more behavior issues, more pressure or guilt from saying no, this doesn't mean that they're failing. It means that they might be disrupting a pattern. So it's the same like with if you have a child with challenging behavior or even a class with challenging behavior, sometimes it has to get worse before it will get better. Yeah. And so if somebody isn't particularly on a growth journey, it can be that push that we need to make a change. So sometimes challenges are that thing that makes our comfort zone so uncomfortable that we have to make a change. And actually, the change makes our life much better, but we have to go through the challenge to get to the better side, you know? And it's hard when you haven't got that mindset of like, yay, a challenge. I'm not saying I'm like that every time, but like searching for what you're learning or being excited that something good's going to happen. Because it's fair to say that, like, if I look back through my life, a lot of the very, very, very big challenges, and I know you've had, that I would trauma actually, and real hardship, real difficult times that we've had to get through. But had those things not happened, then a lot of other amazing things wouldn't have happened, And so we can't see what good sometimes. We can't see what's good is going to come out the other side. But what we can do, sometimes we can predict the good that's going to come out of it. But what we can do is inject positivity into the challenge so that we are better prepared to come out the other side.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we see endings as endings, but endings are actually disguising. They're disguising new beginnings. Because in fact, every ending opens up your world for something better. And you have to remember that the universe only will remove something from your life in order to make room for better. So, like, you might think, oh, I'm losing this person, or I have to walk away from this person, or I lost this job, or whatever it is. But you're actually being redirected into something that's bigger and better for you. And I know it's very hard in the moment to understand that, especially when you have to walk away from friends or family or anything like that. But understand it's actually pushing out something that no longer serves you in order to make room for better. So understand anything that goes wrong is making room for something to go right.
Yeah, definitely. And so that reframe is really an important tool in preventing the spiral, but also if you come to a challenge, I've talked about this before, it's self-efficacy, isn't it? It helps your self-efficacy if you can view it as a gift, if you can view it as it's for you rather than against you.
That's another thing Tony Robbins says is life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Yeah. And that, what's that thing you always say? My track record. I love that as well. My track record.
My track record of getting through shitty days is 100% so far. Like, so you're going to get through the next thing as well. Like, that's not exactly the quote, but so around those lines.
Yeah, it's your own take on it. Yeah, but it is true. Like, we've got through every challenge that has
and it's made us stronger every single time. You've come out stronger than you were before. Like, we've gone through the deepest, darkest depths of hell. We've gone through the worst challenges, the worst of the worst. I'm sure all of you have. And you survived and came out stronger than you were before. So all of the challenges you go through now are nothing compared to what you've endured before. So literally, it's like, it is that stepping stone, because it's like you can do anything now.
Yeah. Yeah, so self-efficacy, I mentioned it, so I'll just explain what it is if you don't know what it is. Self-efficacy is our belief in our abilities, resilience, and skill set to reach our goals, or to reach our goals even when things get difficult. So it's being able to face challenges, problem solve, and get through those challenges. It might feel difficult, and you might have many challenges. So the more self-efficacy that you have, if you have high self-efficacy, you are going to push through longer to get to your goal. So self-efficacy in life is such an important thing, because if as soon as we get an obstacle, we give up. That's when we get stuck in our comfort zone. It's also important to mention that if you are on a growth journey, obstacles can actually be a sign that you are making a shift. So when our brain resists change, so we might be on a growth journey, but it might see obstacles because it doesn't want us to change from where we are. So we might start perceiving this because our subconscious is like, actually, I don't want to change. I'm comfortable here. And we can perceive challenges or obstacles that aren't really that big an obstacle, but we blow them up in our head to keep us stuck. And that's our brain trying to keep us alive. It's trying to keep us safe, but it's not. We call it the comfort zone, but it's not comfortable to stay there.
It's the ego. Like, anytime I try, and it's funny, like the simple things in life that are good for us. Like, maybe if I like, when I took up Kundalini yoga, or, I wanted to read more, or, I wanted to go for a walk, my ego would keep coming in and go, no, man, once you're under the blanket, you're fine. You don't want to live and tell you you're grand. And it's like, but I know the thing is going to make me feel good. Why is my own brain telling me not to do the things that make me want to go feel good? Like, and it's just like, what do you listen to? Like, do you jump into this unknown that you know is going to be good for you? Or do you listen to the voice in your head saying, get under that blanket, you're fine, you don't have to do anything today. And it's the same voice over and over again. Like, simple thing lately, like, of wanting to read more. I keep my ego mind keeps going into my head saying, you don't want to do that. You don't. And I'm like, I do want to do that. But like, that's the thing, anytime our comfort zone changes or something changes in our lives, that little voice comes back in the caveman mentality. It's like, don't go out there, you're not safe out there. It's like, yes, I need to leave this cave, let me out.
Yeah, and we might so for example, this is one that happened with me. I was trying to do the 5 a.m. thing and go for a jog in the morning, which I'll probably have to start again. Actually, I need to get fit for November. But and so my brain would make excuses that felt like reasons. And so the challenges were not real challenges. They were just excuses that my brain was being really creative with. So, it might be, oh, well, you've got this going on at school today and you don't want to tire yourself out before that. So you really want to have have a bit of a lie in, or, oh, it's raining outside and I'll get my trainers wet.
And the funny thing is, exercise gives you more energy.
I know, yeah. But that's sometimes we create reasons that are just excuses, but then the reason becomes the challenge or the block in our way. Oh, the weather's not good enough to go jogging. You can go jogging in the rain. I mean, if it's dangerous weather out there, you can't. But it's we can make. Or for example, I'm on a diet, but it's a colleague's birthday today, so I'm going to eat one of the cakes at school. That's not a reason to get off your plans, to divert from your plans. You can celebrate without eating the cake. You can just say happy birthday and sit while they eat the cake. But we make that excuse to not follow through with what we want to do into a reason. And then you'll be like, oh, I'm on this diet, but then it was so and so's birthday and I was invited out for tea, and then I took the kids to the cinema. Well, in all of those situations, you can still choose what you put in your mouth, can't you? But we can sometimes see that as obstacles in the way of our goals when actually they're just excuses that we're making up because we are not in alignment with our goals, you know. Our subconscious is trying to keep us stuck. So let's have a look. I've got some. So we've got the brain resists change because it's wired for I can't say it. Familiarity. I
Yay!
found chunking works for me. It worked last night as well, didn't it? Familiarity, not for growth, because growth is the unknown and familiarity is what we already know.
And this is the thing, we get so comfortable in our familiar. And like we don't even want to be there anymore. We know it's not good for us. And it's just because it is so comfortable, I suppose, or known territory. It's that warm blanket energy. And it's just like, no, it's roasting outside. Take off the blanket and run. Get out.
Yeah. And actually with we as coaches, we do NLP techniques that are really good for overcoming those things, because even when we're aware of it, sometimes it can be hard to overcome those habits that we've got into, or going through those difficult situations. I think a lot of people as well keep themselves stuck or get themselves frustrated because they're not able to have uncomfortable conversations to get the thing that they want, and that becomes the barrier for them. And actually that's an internal barrier. It's just because it's uncomfortable.
Once again, I think it still boils down to that unworthiness mood. Because I've noticed myself over the last few days, I've gone back into some old habits, and since my car, like the energy of the car has led me into this newfound kind of energy and the stock habits that I had gone back to, I'm after already changing that because I'm after self-discipline again. But like, you know, it was like I can't remember my train of thought. What was it?
But yeah, into a pattern.
Yeah, like this pattern we get into, and you know, it's very hard. The unworthiness. Sorry, I don't know where I went there. My brain doesn't work all the time. But when I'm downloading the information, I get confused. But anyway, yeah, the unworthiness wound was the actual trigger, because I realized I was self-sabotaging when it came to food again, and I was being lazy when it came to reading, because it was an energy of self-worth for me, and it was like, you know, I got back stuck in my old ways. Because there was a part of me thinking, you know, I want to stay in my comfort zone because I'm not good enough to do the next thing. And that was kind of the thing that came to me this morning with the energy of flipping the switch from my challenge into into a breakthrough. It was literally, it's like my laziness again, or my reverting back to my old pattern was back to my unworthiness again. And now I'm already over the last couple of days retraining myself to get back into the good habits, because I understood that there was something inside me that was just a little bit fearful, fearing that I wasn't good enough for the next thing.
Yeah. When we shift mindset or habits, life will often test you. So I found this when I was on the Great Britain martial arts team the first time. I wasn't really taking it seriously, but then I was overworking in other areas, trying to force my plan for the future, and driving myself into the ground. Anyway, I got Bell's palsy and 6 cranial nerve palsy, but it took the hospital 2 days to work out that it wasn't a stroke. It was just 2 palsies. You don't normally get them both together, but I got a facial paralysis and an eye paralysis, which is you wouldn't normally get them together like that. So they thought it was a stroke. And so then I was like, the first thing I thought was, oh no, I'm like, that's me and karate over. You know, that's the first thing that popped into my head. And it wasn't until then that I realized, actually, I do actually want this now. And I needed that punch in the face to go, you know, you've been given this opportunity. You wanted to be good at karate. You asked in meditation. You got this opportunity, and now you're not taking it seriously. So do you want it? That's what it felt like. It really did feel.
We do that, don't we? We get the thing we want, and it's the unworthiness we again, I'm telling you. And we feel that we take it for granted because there's some part of us still believing that we don't belong there, or that we don't deserve this, or that we're not good enough for this. So that's why we take it for granted. And then you need that wake up call, that slap in the face to literally say, do you want this or not? Or I'm going to take it away from you. It's that simple. And then they take it away, or they you fight for it. And it's as simple as that. So that's any aspect of your life. You know what I mean? So, be careful what you wish for, and also hang on to it when you have it, because it will be taken away.
Yeah. Teachers may notice more behavior issues, more pressure or guilt from saying no. This doesn't mean that they're failing. It means that they might be disrupting a pattern, So it's the same like if you have a child with challenging behavior, or even a class with challenging behavior, sometimes it has to get worse before it will get better. Like sometimes there will be pushback. Pushback can feel like you're failing, but actually, just like setting a boundary, actually, that you might say, this is my boundary, and then people might push back, and you might feel like, you're failing, or that people don't respect you, and actually it's just that you have to, people test boundaries, you have to hold them firm, and it doesn't mean that they won't respect it. It just means that, saying it once might not be enough. You need to go through a process with people sometimes. Yeah.
That's the thing. You need to understand that, like, your boundary is a change in their lives as well. And if they're, they're going to have that disruption where they're feeling a little bit like, oh my God, this change is scary. And the right person will get over that part of it themselves and will respect your boundary. And the wrong one will just retaliate. So, that's a lesson in, that's not a challenge, that's a lesson in showing who's going to be removed from your life if they're not actually worthy of being in your life.
Yeah, definitely. If somebody is constantly pushing back, then they're not someone to be in your inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, we frame the challenge. So what if the challenge is an upgrade? So we could think of it as an upgrade. Or we often say, what is this trying to teach me? What skill am I going to get from overcoming this challenge? What skills am I practicing? What skills am I getting to showcase by overcoming this challenge? What am I going to get to prove to myself by getting to the other side? Rather than, oh, poor me. It's like moving from victim to empowerment, isn't it?
And that's one thing we do go into it. It's that victim mentality. It's like, why me? Why is everything going wrong? Why is it like it's a whole world against me kind of energy? And it's like, you have the power right now to change it. You have that power. You are the one that's in control of your life.
Yeah.
So yes, if you keep thinking it's going wrong, it's going to continue to go wrong. If you stay in that victim mentality, nothing is going to change. Yeah. Empower yourself through these challenges because they are going to make you stronger.
Yeah, definitely. What is it that he says about a worthy opponent?
Yeah, I'm so wrong. Call your challenges a worthy opponent, because what is it trying to teach her? Like, stand up against it. Be strong because of it. Fight through it. Get to the other side. The same way you have your karate fights. Like, literally, you're there. You're in a challenge. That's a fight. Your challenge is to win that fight. So your challenge or obstacle is to win that fight.
Yeah, and you don't get good if you always fight somebody who is, not as good as you. The only way you get better is by being beaten sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. If you keep fighting the same person over and over again in your karate matches, you're going to get really good at it. But then you're going to your comfort zone, and it just doesn't work. You need to be challenged again, and that's why we're pushed out of our comfort zone, is to get that next challenge, that next step up.
I often spar with my sister, and she's not. She always forgets to drop her guard. She's so funny though. So we'll be sparring, and I'll punch her in the nose, and I'll punch her a bit too hard because sometimes I get a bit enthusiastic, and then she goes like this, and I'm like, "You all right?" She goes, "I need to keep my guard up." You just reminded me to keep my guard up, and that's a great way to look at it, isn't it?
But it is, exactly. You're after giving her an upgrade there, because at least when she fights, in a real fight, like not against you, she's going to have her guard up, like she'll remember next time. So it's a lesson learned, like.
It's that thing that it will just keep happening until you learn till you have your guard up. I'm going to keep punching you in the face. Yeah.
that is a very good analogy for the way the universe works. They love you, they love you, they love you, but then they start punching you in the face when you wake up, and they throw a hand grenade, and then so there you start listening.
Yeah.